Chancellor. This morning we are fortunate to be addressed by a leading computer scientist, Professor Justin Zobel. Professor Justin Zobel is a Redmond Barry Distinguished Professor in the School of Computing and Information Services and Pro Vice-Chancellor, Graduate and International Research at the University of Melbourne. Justin received his Bachelor of Science with honours and his PhD from Melbourne, and later worked at RMIT, where he led the Search Engine Group, and the ICT Research Centre of Excellence, NICTA, before returning to the University of Melbourne in 2008. In the research community, Justin is best known for his role in the development of algorithms for efficient web searching and text retrieval. A keen public commentator in his field, Justin has written on the university's Pursuit website that computing underpins every aspect of our lives, from smartphones to the robots that assemble our cars. His many publications include the books Writing for Computer Science, and a book I imagine that some of our graduates today may have read, How to Write a Better Thesis. It is a pleasure to call on him to speak today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Justin Zobel.
Chancellor, members of the university, graduates, friends, ladies and gentlemen, but in particular the graduates, congratulations. Congratulations on being here, congratulations on being awarded the title of doctor, congratulations on completing your PhD. It's early, but perhaps this will be the single largest project you'll ever undertake. It feels absurd, but many of you probably know more than anyone else on the planet on your particular topic. You've become experts. And congratulations, by the way, also to the family and friends who have endured that same PhD from the outside and helped to steer you and get you here today. What I'd like to reflect on this morning is what it is that you new doctors will take from your PhD, what you might do with it, what this thing called expertise is that you've acquired, and also about why we should value it. There's no question the PhD does bring respect. The title of doctor has authority, and we all feel that anything really difficult requires a PhD to get it done. But what it really reflects is that you've become capable and trained in a thing that you might call research thinking. Research itself has changed a great deal over time, but research thinking is a kind of unchanged skill that you've acquired and won't lose. And I think this is really what sets PhD graduates apart from other degrees. To get here, you've shown a skill of questioning, not just asking questions about everything that crosses your mind, but asking the right questions and knowing when to be satisfied with the answer. You've shown the confidence to reason and work on projects that take not a day and not a few days, but years, and sustained focus over those years to get the work done. You've shown reflectiveness and care and thoroughness, taking the time to get a rounded, deep understanding of your problem, and very probably some resilience. Probably some things have gone wrong, probably you've made mistakes, and part of the skill of getting a PhD is being resilient and reflective enough to survive those mistakes and continue on with your work. And in my view, it's that skill of research thinking that will drive your career, just as much as the specific things that you've accomplished while getting that PhD. I'd like to look back for a moment. I graduated at a PhD event very like this one at the start of the 1990s. But it was a different time. The Vice-Chancellor had just got his first computer. He didn't have access to email because there was no university email system. Most of the graduates had written their theses completely by hand because they couldn't type. That means they didn't revise them very often either. Most of them had done their work without the internet. There was no web, no search, no Wikipedia, no blogs. And yet, as I look behind me or around the room, those same PhD graduates, some of whom were in that room the same day as me, are our research leaders today. You've studied under them, you've admired their work, you've admired their insights, their thinking, their research thinking has helped to shape your thinking. You've seen how their skill endures and develops. And there's a definite lesson here that what you know today, I'm sorry to tell you, will not sustain a career. Your new skills may be only still be developing, and that's something you don't expect of a PhD. You think that you're there to do research, but it also gives you something else, that change in your abilities. I look back at my own PhD and with quite a lot of embarrassment at the work I produced before I began it, and can see how that work changed me. It deepened my technical skill, but what I've really learnt was to reason, or began to learn to reason and communicate. So what does this mean for your careers? One thing I see is that the disciplines themselves are changing. An example is the web. It's a new technology, but it's also a social place, and we're familiar with social places from history, the ancient Greek agora. It's the place where we thrash out our views and our conflicts, but in a completely new context. The modern state is now continuously informed by data and data processing in ways that were inconceivable, I think 10, 15 years ago. And our arts are increasingly technical as well. Technology is introducing us to art and performance and literature and knowledge in ways that are totally new. So it's gotten harder, I think, to understand how society works, and harder to do it from the base of one discipline. If we are to have rational, informed decision-making, we need PhDs to shape policy, direction and strategy. We need them ever more because of the physical world. We're constrained in new ways by space and by resources and by the climate, and we have to make our decisions in a thoughtful way. And there are very profound challenges that are in our face every day. Online technology has created this ungoverned marketplace of thought in which every idea is equally important. There is fake news, good ideas, bad ideas, with very little guidance for distinguishing amongst them. We're at risk of losing sight of fact, truth, reason, sense. And this, to me, is the importance of expertise. It provides an intellectual base and an intellectual integrity for a world where knowledge itself is under assault. Public debate is no longer orderly and curated in the way it was 20 years ago, but is completely uncontrolled. We need rational people, research thinkers to participate, to contribute, to engage, to lead, and that's why we need your PhDs. I'd like to finish with a quote. "We live in this world in order that we may always learn industriously and by means of rational discussion enlighten each other." This was not written recently, but in 1776 by Leopold Mozart, father of the composer. And I still find it startling that an ordinary citizen in that day could put out that view when we would feel that so many people today do not share it. I encourage you all, by means of rational discussion, enlighten each other. Thank you.